Hey, Dodger fans, thanks for tuning in. Opening week at the Ravine this week. We got Josh in the house. He's going to give us some firsthand accounts on all the festivities that went on last week, and we're going to look ahead to the following week, too. This week on Dodgers Rap 360
for TV
AfterBuzz.
superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Tell us, Josh, how was the week? I mean, it was a great week for the Dodgers. They came out 4-2 for the week. Can't complain about that.
No, except two of the games I went to, they lost.
Well, I mean, I think that you just answered your own question. You got to stop going to games.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm a little bit of a jinx.
Yeah, one of those games was opening day, which was a great ceremony. All the Dodger greats there. I mean, and honoring, we talk all the time about the GOATs, the greatest of all time, and the greatest of all time baseball announcer-wise. Vin Scully was honored, properly so, that day, and got a street named after him, right?
Yeah, yes, formerly Elysian Park Avenue is now Vin Scully Way, I believe.
Oh, for all you Los Angelinos, just so you don't get lost, you're going to be taking a left or right up the hill on Vin Scully Way now. Right into, what is that, Gate E?
I believe, yeah. I go through, and I don't like dealing with Gate E.
Yeah, Gate E's a horror show.
I actually go off Sunset because it's close to where I live.
Yeah, well, isn't that the way? Oh, the different.
No,
okay,
it's
gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. So, I mean, that must have been. I mean, you had all the greats out there. Koufax was out there. I mean, Don Newcomb was out there, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, Lasorda obviously.
Right.
They had video tributes. Kirk Gibson on a video tribute. All the former Dodgers. They had Garvey, Say.
right.
Not Lopes.
Yeah.
I mean, Lopes is in Washington now.
Yeah, he's the first base coach in Washington. Yeah.
So, he's had a game.
Yeah.
But they had Russell, Say, and Garvey.
Sure. 3 out of 4 of the old infield.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Fernando, of course.
Of course.
Kershaw on the current team. So it was, it was pretty amazing. Couldn't have gone to a better guy. I mean, everyone loves me and say, like I was telling you before, 3 generations of my family listening to Vin Scully, my grandfather, my father, and me. It was that familiar voice. I mean, even as a kid, you hear that and you're like, oh, Dodgers. Yeah. Even before I was really following baseball. Like, oh, Dodger game's on.
Yeah.
Because you recognize that voice. It's so, just one of those things.
Just inherent with baseball.
And he creates such a great picture when he calls games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's I know he's old, 89 now, I believe.
Okay. I was going to give him 88.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's getting harder for him to do games, obviously, but
Yeah.
I do hope there will be a statue outside of
I would certainly hope
somewhere outside of Dodger Stadium for him.
I would certainly hope so. This is his 67th year doing Dodger games. I mean, he was doing them in Brooklyn, people. So do yourself a favor. It's like this is actually a good time for us to just, lambaste Time Warner Cable right now, because it is a horror show that people can't listen to one of the greatest to ever do it.
But it's not all Time Warner. The Dodgers do take blame in this mess.
Right.
They sold it to them knowing that, they knew. I have a feel they had to know something like this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the same thing with the Yankees being in bed with the Yes Network and all that stuff, Well, they actually own that network, I think, so.
But they just wanted the money. That's what it comes down to all the time. It just comes down to money.
So terrible. Do yourself a favor, Time Warner Cable. Save some face, Dodgers. Give, Time Warner Cable for free to anybody that maybe wants to give a donation to Vin Scully's favorite charity or something that.
That's a great idea.
Isn't that a great idea?
It is.
Even if it's $1, you get Time Warner Cable home games for the rest of the year.
That'd be amazing.
Scully, I would recommend maybe a donation of $67 for $1 for every year he's been calling Dodger games. Because, I mean, the guy's so unbelievable. It's like, and I think, we've kind of taken him for granted. And now it's like we get this shock value with him. Like, okay, it is Vin's last year. And it's like, oh, my God. So listen in if you can, because the guy is great. I mean, who else can carry a game? I mean, dude's 88 by himself. He can call a game.
Yeah. Doesn't need a color guy. Doesn't need an analyst with him. He creates. No one creates a better word picture.
Yeah,
nobody does. Chick Hearn obviously, basketball wise, could do it.
Right.
But
it's no Johnny Most, but he was still pretty good. But yeah, no, I hate it. And it's like to have these young people that maybe are just kind of getting into baseball. I hope there are young people still getting into baseball and not just whining that it's a long game. But
It's a long
like
season.
it's such a great game, and nobody paints the picture like you say more than Vin Scully. And it's you know, I mean, the guy gives like firsthand accounts of stories about Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable. You know, he's like picking out. He's like, oh yeah, that pitches of Jackie and you know, and Don Newcomb from this game, Pee Wee Reese, and you know, oh, and that guy in the background is, you know, he's like,
There's Gil Hodges sitting there. Yes.
but he's like pulling like utility players, you know, that he sees in the background. It's like unbelievable, and it's like once he goes, there's like nobody really from that old guard left, and it's like, you know, our harking back, the stories are going to be like from the 80s from Oral and from the 90s from Nomar. It's like, you know, there are no more stories from the 50s coming forth.
Yeah, well, yeah. Actually, I think instead of Nomar, I think you wind up getting Karros in that position.
Yeah.
I think at some point.
Yeah, you're gonna oust Nomar.
Well, no, I like Nomar a lot, but I don't associate Nomar necessarily with like just being a. I feel like he's more of a Red Sox than a Dodger. Much
is
like
true.
Controversially, I don't associate Kirk Gibson with being a Dodger.
Right.
He had a big
He's a Tiger.
He had a big Dodger moment, but
Right.
I don't necessarily associate him with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, he won a World Series already with the Tigers before he came to the Dodgers.
It's true, but it is like almost like
Yeah, it is the moment. Yeah,
moment.
it is. But it's just he's not like a. He was only like, you know, a Dodger a couple years and
I know.
was hurt for the majority of it.
Yeah. Even still, just that one homer. It's like,
I know
oh.
that's all. I mean, he was MVP that year, I believe,
Yeah.
in the National League too.
And you look at his numbers, and it was like,
They're pretty
wow.
pedestrian by
Yeah.
today's standards. I know.
It was like pre-juice ball era, so you could like win the MVP with like 22 homers or whatever.
Yeah, which I do argue was maybe the best moment pre-steroids from that era in the '80s. Before, when you kind of had the cocaine era, then it was kind of dead there, and then you had kind of the steroid era.
Right.
And I feel like between those two drug moments, it was the best moment there.
Yeah, that was kind of probably, I mean, the start of the juice ball era, you know, because the Canseco, you know, was getting it going anyways at that time. But yeah, so unfortunately they couldn't make it the perfect opening day game, and they dropped that one to the Diamondbacks. But they still took 2 out of 3, right, from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, still took 2 out of 3. Maeda pitched good opening day. He looked good.
Right.
You know, still gave up no runs.
Yeah. Gave up a run today, though. What do you think? AAA for him?
Actually, outside of that first inning where he walked a couple guys, he was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 7 strikeouts. He looked solid. His ball, it almost looked like the shadows were messing with him in those first couple innings.
Right.
Because, you know, 5 o'clock start, Dodger Stadium gets crazy shadows.
But that's usually good for the pitches, isn't it? Usually, as opposed to the hitters, because
I mean, yeah, because the ball kind of comes in and out, but
it goes from sunshine to shadows, right?
But he looked like he couldn't find today. He looked like he couldn't find the plate for the first 2 innings. They had a lot of trouble finding the plate. But then all of a sudden, his ball started working, the sinker started working, the curve started working, and
Man, he's been great.
Yeah, and that was it.
He's been a godsend. So yeah, he had 2 great starts this year. This week. Kazmir, however,
Not so much.
not so much. I mean, he was okay. That start on, what was it, Saturday he pitched? He was okay.
He was,
But his first start of the week was just didn't have it.
no, and I was at the game, and he was bouncing balls. The walks were what killed him.
Right.
Really, it was the walks. But yeah, he had to have bounced. I mean, my dad and I were sitting there, we lost count at some point. In the first 4 innings, he bounced about 4 or 5 balls.
Right.
I mean, like way before the plate. It wasn't just, it bounced. It was like 5 feet before the plate.
Yeah. It seems like maybe it's just because he is, so dependent on that cutter. Maybe you just need a little feel for it. But it's like, you can't really say it's a cold weather issue. I mean, maybe you could get away with that in San Francisco, but down here you really can't.
No, and it was, it was a beautiful day at the ballpark. I'll tell you that. Both the day game, the night games was gorgeous.
Yeah. And then really the game everybody was looking forward to was on Jackie Robinson Day on Friday night, the big pitching duel, Kersh versus Baumgartner. Second time this season already?
Second time already, and this one not a pitcher's duel, particularly this one. Kershaw did not look sharp. He didn't look bad.
Right.
Just not his normal sharpness. I think he had 2 wild pitches in that game.
Yeah, one that scored a run.
Although one I argue was a pass ball. One I really do argue was a pass ball.
I think it initially was a pass ball, and then they changed it.
They rolled it a wild pitch. Yeah,
it's crazy.
but he didn't look sharp. Baumgartner didn't look good at all. I mean, they had some errors, but he
They
didn't.
did. They were uncharacteristically booting the ball around that night. It was kind of crazy. That was the night to get him.
Yeah, but he still gave up 4 earned runs, which that's not like him.
Right.
Yeah, but it was an exciting game.
So a frequent whipping boy, if you will, on this program is the Dodgers bullpen.
Yes.
But now, after this week, we obviously have to give them some props because they kind of turned it around a little
We
bit.
do 14 straight scoreless innings. I actually think the rallying point was when he brought Jansen in for that 5-out save on Wednesday.
I agree with you.
Baez came in, gave up a walk, he yanked him right away, brought in Jansen. Jansen closed out the game. I think he had 3 strikeouts. Jansen's Jansen. He's always going to be good. But I feel like that looked like it might have been a little rallying point there because after that moment, they have actually been lights out.
Yeah. It was almost like, okay, are we going to have to use our horse for 5 outs?
Yeah.
Then that's how we're going to do it.
Which
all the other guys took it as a challenge.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I mean, the Yankees used to do it with Rivera there for a little bit. He used to bring him in for those 4 or 5 out saves,
Yeah.
Torrey. And I give Roberts a lot of credit because that is something specifically Mattingly would not do.
right.
Mattingly would never bring Jansen in, or if he did, it was very rare that he would do something like that.
Well, I always remember there being kind of a question mark with Jansen's durability. Was it because he was coming off injury or like just the fact, maximum workload?
I think it was more maximum workload than anything else. Yeah.
Okay. And, well, that's another thing you want to be careful of, too.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have somebody that can step up and maybe close that game.
Because not everyone could be Rivera and still be effective, when they're 40.
Yeah. It's one thing to go back-to-back and do the second on back-to-backs and do a 5-out save in April.
Yeah.
But, if that is a common occurrence on a weekly basis, come September, this guy's going to be run down. And that's something you got to take care of your investments, as they say. But Hatch has looked good since he's come back from the birth of his child. Jensen Hatcher, new to the world. Congratulations.
He has. Actually, today he looked great against the Giants today. His ball was moving again. He gets in trouble, much like Kershaw, actually, because they do both throw hard. But when their ball doesn't move, when it's static, it's just, it's just meat up there for guys.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's 94, 95, and Hatcher throws faster. But if it's just straight, you're
This
in
is the
trouble.
big leagues.
Yeah.
97 straight down the middle. You can get away with that in AAA. Not here.
Yeah.
No. Guys are going to turn on that. But, yeah, he's looked good. So maybe it's like, I don't know if that's his first child or...
I don't know.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
But, like, if it is, maybe he has that perspective, that he's just like, okay, I got people relying on me now. I have to treat this as a job and really, be spot on.
But Baez has looked good in his last outing. He was always a guy who he'll either come in and strike out the side, or he'll give up a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
There's really no in between. He did one of those two things.
Right.
And of course Tuesday he does give up a home run.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you need out of bullpen is consistency. Too,
Yeah.
So it's tough. But if we can have one of him or Yimi going good at its time, I think Hatcher's going to be there. I actually think Blanton's going to be pretty good. And,
They brought up Liberatore.
Liberatore,
Who looked all right actually. I thought he looked okay.
yeah, and it gives Doc another lefty in the pen, which is huge.
Yeah.
Now I know he came up when they put Hatch on the paternity list, but now he's still up. So was there another roster move?
Van Slyke went down. Van Slyke's on the DL now.
Okay.
So you have Van Slyke, Ethier, and Crawford all on the DL.
Right.
I think they brought up Micah Johnson, and then I think they sent him down and brought up Liberatore. I believe that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Because I believe
right.
Johnson is not on the team right now.
That sounds right. And really, why do you need Micah Johnson? Austin Bonds started a game at second base this week. It's like we got everybody on the team can play second base.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Utley can play third. Turner can play third. Kike can even fill in at third. And with Kike's bat right now, you're gonna have to find him a place on the field. He's killing the ball. The other day, the 2 home runs,
huge,
and a 2-run double. He had a hit. They didn't win yesterday, but he still had 2 hits yesterday. He's just, or not yesterday, the day before.
Mad Bomb. He owns Mad Bomb. He's 10 for 16.
Yeah,
versus Mad Bomb with like 3 bombs.
He's, you know, but
Kike and Kryptonite both start with the K. I mean, I'm just saying.
But last year his bat was good. I think as a Dodger, he's hitting over 300.
Yeah.
Same with Justin Turner. I believe while he's been hurt, I believe as a Dodger he's hitting like 310.
Yeah.
While he's been on the Dodgers.
Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it just goes to show. I mean, all those people that were belly aching when we traded D Brown. It's like, I mean, D Gordon. Excuse me.
D Brown, the Celtics.
Yeah,
D Brown.
But like D Gordon, it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, I never really thought D Gordon was going to lead the NL in hitting, which I think he did last year.
Yeah.
You know, but it steals maybe, but not batting average. So it kind of stings a little bit when you look at that. But when you look at what you got back, you know, you got Kike, you got Haney, who we
traded for Kendrick. And Hatcher. Hatcher was the big thing because they needed bullpen help. Hatcher was amazing that last year with the Marlins.
Florida, yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah.
You know, and that, I think to me that was the big thing where they flipped Haney for Kendrick, so they had a second baseman.
Right.
But the biggest one was Hatcher.
Yeah.
Like they wanted Hatcher as that 8th inning guy. Hatcher is our 8th inning guy.
Right.
You know,
and I think that's something you got to earn. There's this kind of especially this day and age with like Kansas City and how they've kind of done it with their lockdown bullpens, and even going back to like, you know, Mariano and John Wetland, you know, locking down the 8th and 9th. Everybody's kind of like wanting to get that so much, get that 8th inning and 9th inning locked down, or maybe even 7th, 8th, and 9th locked down to shorten the game, that sometimes they're putting, you know, a square peg in a round hole sometimes. And it's like, let the guys grow into that. And if they do, they do. But you look at a guy like Bruce Bochy, and he like just plays matchups all the way to the end. And, you know, it's like, okay, Hunter Strickland, he's got him in there, flamethrower, but hey, now it's a better matchup, you know, and he'll bring in like Contos, Lopez, or somebody like that. And it's like, I'm eager to see the manager who's gonna like finally kind of take that step into bringing this closer in the 8th.
Yes,
you know?
actually, me and my good friend who goes to many of the Dodger games with us. You know, to us, you know, your closer should face whether it's
4, 5, 6,
whether
3,
it's
4,
7, 8,
5.
9. Yeah, should always face 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. That's who your best relief pitcher should face those guys.
Absolutely.
You know, I hope there is a manager that does that someday. Because all the metrics, the analytics people, they all want to do that.
Right.
But managers don't want to do that.
And it's just like, do they not want to think as a manager? I mean, I almost think like that's it. They just like being on autopilot. Like once it gets to the 8th inning, they just want to be like, I bring in this guy for the 8th, I bring in this guy for the 9th, and it's just like they turn off their brain sometimes, and I just don't understand. And like sometimes if a guy's like having a good day, like a Pedro and a Yimi, it's like you got to like take advantage of when they're throwing the ball well. So maybe extend those guys to 2 innings if they're throwing good.
I've said that so many times. If a guy comes in and when Pedro's on, when Baez is on, if he comes in and strikes out the side, let him go out there for the next inning. See what happens. Yeah. If he gets a guy on, pull him.
Right.
You know, to pull him right away. But if he's throwing gas and he strikes out the side, I think you should let him hang in there one more inning just to see, or at least, you know, let him go out for the next batter. Yeah. See what happens.
There's all this like curtailing to like relievers, like, well, they like to come into a clean inning and all this stuff. I'm like, this guy's making 7, figures a year to come in and throw 15 pitches at a time. It's like he can come in and hold a guy on base.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, work on it. You know, in your off time if it's something you're not good at, but. Another guy this year, and also speaks to the wonderful versatility that's going on with the Dodgers this year, and somebody we didn't give props in that first Giants series, even though he was the hero in that first game. That only win up there in AT&T was Charlie Culberson.
Oh, yeah.
Former first-round pick of the Giants. So it's great to see him have success versus the Giants. I love to see that.
It's he's played okay for the Dodgers, you know? So it's been he's one of those guys who is much like Turner, who's just kind of added to add depth.
Right.
You know, everyone forgets that was all Turner was originally there for.
Yeah.
He was just, now we have a utility guy to back up everyone else.
And then he started mashing.
Yeah, and then he started hitting. Guys got hurt. He stepped up, and now he's hitting. Now he's batting third, starting at third base.
And that's why the Kike, like you said, he's the new Turner, and you got to have him in there. Like until his back cools off, he's got to, especially with those injuries you have in left field, he's got to be your everyday left fielder.
I feel like he should be. And to me, the way he's swinging, it should not matter for lefty righty. He should just be in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely going to be in there for lefties.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like, looks like Roberts has kind of solidified that situation where the second baseman's going to be the leadoff versus righties.
Yeah.
But versus lefties, he's going to go with Kike.
Oh, yeah, he goes with Kike.
I mean, he's like, Ricky Henderson up there. He has pop, and he has got command of the strike zone. He's just a great hitter and just a team guy.
And he's in a groove right now. You got to play. You got to let the guy.
Those guys.
Yeah. When the guy's in a groove, you got to let him out there.
Yeah. And like when he cools off, then you go back to just keep playing him versus lefties for a while. Because the one thing about like starting them versus righties that I kind of hate is the fact that you don't have that, sick hitter versus a lefty in your pocket, to kind of pinch hit late in the game when they bring in a tough lefty. But although Trace Thompson has been raking lefties too.
Yeah, he's been hitting okay too.
So he's like, when that lefty lineup, it looks like they're going to go with that, Kike in left and Trace in center. The one thing and why you can kind of understand why Kike doesn't play that much of the field was just that fly ball in Saturday's game.
Yeah. That he almost missed.
He did miss. The one he did miss, that bounced on the warning track.
He also misplayed one really badly that he almost missed.
Yeah.
Where that's what I looked at. My friends who I was with, and I'm like, that's why it's hard to find him a spot.
He did have that nice diving catch though. The Friday night game.
But he did really misjudge the double that went over his head. He really misjudged that ball. And that's what I said last year in the playoffs. I believe it was Cespedes when he was playing center.
Right.
Hit one that Jacques would have got. Because Jacques gets a great jump on the ball.
Yeah.
He does. He sees the ball really well coming out. And you just know, like, that would, wound up being like a triple, I think, for Cespedes. Whereas if Jacques were in the game, it just would have been an out.
Yeah.
And it was just, that's why, I like sticking him in left. I think he's a better infielder than he is an outfielder.
Right.
But he's not particularly great at either position.
Yeah. But he's average. He's palatable.
Yeah, exactly.
If the dude hits 414 for the rest of the season,
honestly, who cares? He makes a few bad judgments here or there. Oh well.
Yeah. Throw him out there with a pair of mittens rather than a ball glove. It doesn't really matter. But and he really is like a catalyst for that lineup. It's just, and when you have him and you have even you have guys like Kendrick and Utley and like all these guys that are taking pitches at that top of the order. It's like by the time Agon's game came up, he might have watched, 15, 20 pitches, from the on deck circle, and gets a read on a guy. I mean, it's great. Although Agon's third batter, right?
Fourth.
He's fourth? Okay, cool. But Culbertson's been great. It's like everybody. And like, I was also really impressed with Trace Thompson in center field. He doesn't look out of place at all out there.
Oh, no. And they had no real backup center fielder for Peterson. Because, yes, Puig and Hernandez can play center.
Right.
But they're not particularly good at it. Mm-hmm. They're serviceable at it. But, getting Trace I thought was good for just sheer depth. Because, they like giving Jacques the day off, obviously, against lefties.
Yeah.
They usually sit him down. And it's nice to have someone who can actually field the position.
Definitely. and the guy's like career 330 hitter versus lefties. So it's like, get him out there versus lefties. Him and Kike got to be in the lineup, no doubt. And they sat Seager versus lefty, right? Was that Saturday?
I believe it was I felt like it was just a day off for him. Much like with Puig. I think they sat Puig. I think it was just one of those...
Okay.
I think they just kind of gave him a day off because they normally play Seager against lefties. He doesn't really. Okay. That's usually not an issue. Right, I think it just happened to be just a day off. Yeah. Okay.
And Culberson had 2 hits, I think. That game.
Yeah, he did.
Man. So it's really kind of clicking all cylinders for the Dodgers right now.
Well,
even though they're still just a half game back of the Giants so far.
Oh no, I think I think they went up now.
Okay.
Oh no, they're tied. They're both 8-5. I believe they're both 8-5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds right. I try not to look at the standings this early.
Yeah, me neither.
It's all about how the team's playing. Look at their record.
Yeah.
And then you hope you turn around and, it's August 1st and you hope they're maybe 10 games over 500 and within 5 games of a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Make the last 2 months interesting.
Usually I wait till about 25 games in before I really start caring about the standings.
Right.
You know, it's going to fluctuate so much. Teams are finding themselves. I mean, the Dodgers, all the injuries.
That's early.
It's
25 games.
Yeah.
You're a scoreboard watcher. Oh man. Another solid outing from the rookie in the 5 spot. Ross Stripling, man. He just keeps it going.
He's looking good. His stuff looks good. His ball moves. I love he's got that nice curve. A nice changeup too. He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm still glad they didn't leave him in that game against the Giants. I mean, I know that's still a little bit controversial, but I mean, really, I really didn't see how you could leave him in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that whole game. Yeah. But this week, like he seemed like it was good to get that no hitter talk right off the bat. Dude hit like the second pitch.
Yeah.
And but he still kind of settled down, looked great. Gave him what, 6 solid?
6 solid innings, which is out of your 5 hole. That's all you could ask for.
Huge. And especially like this week with the bullpen turning things around. All you're gonna need out of that guy is 6 innings. You get 6 out of your 5th. That's good. Especially where. Third starter is pitching like a number 1 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty fantastic. And how about Alex Wood?
Yeah, it looked great the other day.
Right?
Looked great.
So it's like, even if he's kind of like he was last year, where it's like good start, bad start, good start, bad start, good start, with Kenta pitch doing what he does and Stripling doing what he does, that might be enough.
And that's really, honestly, if he goes 10-10 but gives you like a 3.5 ERA, I don't think that's a bad season from Wood.
No, 3.5 season's great.
You go 10-10, 3.5 ERA. Same with Kazmir. If Kazmir can kind of do something similar, where it keeps the ERA in the 3s, maybe goes 500. I think that's a win for both those guys personally. For the Dodgers, I think that's a win.
Definitely, because I mean. Kershaw's going to have 24. So,
and if Ryu ever does come back, and he comes in there, you have if Maeda keeps going like this, that's a really good 1-2-3.
Oh yeah.
With Kershaw, Maeda, and Ryu, but Ryu had another setback. He had a groin injury this week.
Oh boy.
I don't think it's too serious, but it's just now he's having setback after setback.
Right.
So you got to start to wonder, is he going to pitch this year? I mean. It's one of those things that, like last year, something similar happened. Injury, setback, and then didn't pitch.
Right.
Then he had the surgery.
Yeah.
Now it's starting out the same kind of way. It gets frustrating because he is legitimately when he's in there as a number 3 starter, he's one of the best number 3 starters in the league.
Right.
So and in the playoffs, he actually pitched really well for them against the Cardinals in those playoffs. He pitched well.
Yeah. That's why it'll be interesting, because if the Dodgers can kind of keep this flow going, keep the bats going, get good pitching efforts, and the bullpen can be good, then now it's like you're looking at teams in July that are scrambling for maybe some starting pitchers helps, and we don't have to make a trade at all. It's like we got Ryu maybe coming back, maybe a Brett Anderson you can throw into the mix,
or McCarthy,
or Brandon McCarthy, yeah. So it's like. They kind of did right by themselves by getting that pitching depth, and if hopefully Stripling and Maeda can stay healthy and do what they're doing and pitch serviceably, that'll be nice.
Yeah, and now you can see, now a lot of the moves make sense. Because at first when they got Trace Thompson and they made some of these moves, I was kind of like, wow, there's so many outfilders. But then Ether got hurt, and Crawford, of course, gets hurt because that's what Crawford does best, gets hurt.
Well, that is actually helping the team. I mean, it's
allowing Kike to play, so it works out.
It's like when those guys get back. Crawford should just eat his contract and just get rid of the guy or something, because he's not a producer. And if Ether and him get back around the same time, I'd much rather see Ether in left field than Crawford. I'd much rather see Kike in left field than Crawford. I'd much rather see Trace Thompson in left field than Crawford.
I completely agree. They should do what the Red Sox did with Sandoval. Give him an injury to keep him on the DL.
Well, that's why you question how valid this DL stint is for him. But
oh wait, you're dinged up. We'll put you on the DL. Yeah. It's okay.
It's like anything. I think I might have had a hangnail DL. They're just looking for any reason to put him on there and just get him off the books and try somebody else. And it's right.
I think you're right. At this point, I mean, hey, take some of that time. You want to do something good Time Warner with the Time Warner money? Take that Time Warner money and pay him off.
Right. Hopefully, I don't know if there's a buyout in that contract, but if there is, take it. Oh man. So, another thing I was thinking of the other night, because the whole Jackie Robinson thing, and Vin's thing earlier in the week, just kind of put me, as baseball does, put you in a nostalgic feeling, just a frame of mind. And watching Kershaw pitch to Buster Posey, it just made me think, like, this is something we should cherish, and you younger fans, just realize this matchup that you're being privileged to see. Because, like, when all is said and done at the end of the careers, these guys are probably going to be in the top 10 of their position of all time.
Yeah, I agree. And it is something people should appreciate.
Yeah, and soak in.
It's one of those things. It's like now, because he seems to have figured it out, when Bryce Harper comes into town, when the Nationals come into town, you should go watch Bryce Harper.
Right.
Watch him now. It's one of those things, like, and unfortunately, Posey tends to get the better of Kershaw.
Not as much as Kike gets of Mad Bomb.
No. But, Posey gets the better of a lot of pitchers. But, it's just one of those things. It's like, or Kershaw versus Bumgarner. The first matchup was a pitching duel. This one, not as much. Right. But appreciate these things, because this kind of rivalry between these two teams, you get this kind of rivalry with this many great players. It's something that's not going to happen very often.
Yeah.
And in a few years, it's going to be gone.
And we get treated to that, that pitching matchup 2 times in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Exactly.
And now it might not happen for the rest of the season. Probably won't. Playoffs, hopefully. Or, in some September games that are really fought. Because, it's a little too early to say this is looking like a 2-horse race in the division, but it's kind of looking like a 2-horse race in the division.
I was never sold on Arizona.
Yeah. And with Pollock going down for them, their lineup is looking sketchy. Now Shelby Miller has an injury too, I think now. So. Yeah,
and what was odd this week was I noticed, especially in the first game, and they started off, and the first time through the lineup on Wednesday they did it against the Diamondbacks. They were first pitch swinging like crazy, and obviously Turner Ward's from the Diamondbacks, so I assumed that was a strategy,
right?
Because Patrick Corbin only had I think he had 60 pitches through 5 innings, on opening day.
Yeah.
And it was one of these things where guys were just hacking out there at the first pitch.
Right.
And Agon is still kind of hacking a little bit at the first pitch a lot, which normally is not like him. He's a pretty disciplined hitter.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is just a way to mix it up a little bit, that Ward's trying to try different things with different guys.
Right.
Keep pitchers off balance a little bit. Like, oh, now we're going to have Agon go out there and swing. Whereas normally Puig usually crushes the first pitch, but he's not having Puig swing at the first pitch. So I wonder if it'll change at some point.
I think you kind of got to. It's all about. There was, going back to kind of the Billy Beane Moneyball era, where he just tried to get guys that were cheap on contract wise, that had high on base percentage and got pitches to work into counts and. I think that was kind of the way to go about it, with the starting pitching being good and bullpens maybe being a little, shoddy. It was, you wanted to get into those middle guys. And that's still the case a lot of the times. But, once you get a book on a guy that he always takes a strike, then you're just going to groove one right down the middle. It's just, so especially to a guy like Puig, he's got to tee off on that. If it's, so I think it's kind of a, when you look at bullpens getting better now, so maybe you're not in a hurry to get into that bullpen. Maybe you want that starter out there in a while. And, sometimes these guys, and Kike said in the post game the other night when he hit 2 bombs off him, he's like, hey, this guy's great. Am I going to get a fastball that has a decent part of the plate more than one time in the bat? Probably not. Yeah. So when I see one, I'm going to put a good swing on it, and luckily he was able to send 2 out of the park the other night. Sickening. Oh my God, he's been great. He's been great.
And you know what? He kissed both of those. He really.
Yeah, those are no doubters. Both of them.
Peterson's today. Peterson.
That was a seed.
Yeah, he crushed that pitch.
That's good to see. They really have some depth at their position plays.
That was good to see, because in Saturday's game, they had a chance to tie the game. They had a runner on third. Grandal was on third with 1 out, and Peterson had a terrible at bat and fouled out. And it was one of those things where you were like, well, actually, it was funny. I thought maybe Grandal because he's not the fastest, but on opening day they suicide squeezed with AJ Ellis. He laid the bunt down, got the run. I thought that would have been a good position to try to have Jacques drag bunt because they weren't playing him to bunt.
Right.
Jacques has decent speed. He can bunt. He bunted for a hit earlier in the week. I thought that would have been a good place there to try to lay that down and see if you can get that that run scored.
It definitely would have had the surprise element, no question.
And I'm more comfortable with that than Jacques swinging freely.
Yeah, right. And then I think Puig got up and did swing at the first pitch. Did he?
He did, and he got a lot of it. He just got a little under it. A little under it. And I think Casillas
a little bit on the label.
Yeah, Casillas not the hardest thrower. If that ball was 95, 96, that probably would have carried out.
Yeah.
But Seager got a hold of that pitch against Lopez.
Boy.
Dead center field. He crushed that thing.
Seager's great, man. He's so lucky to have that kid. So you mentioned him earlier, Yasmani Grandal. Yep. He's back in the mix now. Still kept Austin Bonds up. So there's still 3 catches in the mid. He showed his versatility being able to play at second base.
And first base. I think he played first base too.
Did he play a little first base? Craziness. And who else? Kendrick played a little left field.
Yeah, Kendrick played left field. Yeah,
Grandal, and a little third base.
Yeah. They're moving guys around, seeing what works. But Grandal has looked good so far. He's had 2 hits today and a walk, 2 hits yesterday and a walk.
Yeah. If he gets a double in the ninth with no outs, you got to get that run home.
Yeah, I know. And Gonzalez did his job. I mean, not Gonzalez.
Whoever got him over. Was it Sega? No.
Now I'm drawing a blank on who got. It might have been Gonzalez actually who got him over. Anyway, because it was a lefty who got him over, and they moved him over. He's on third, and that was where because I was not comfortable with Jock taking a swing in that position. I really was not.
Yeah.
And I would had preferred that.
But even a sac fly gets him home.
I know, but I wanted Jacques to hit that ball on the ground to the right side.
Yeah.
He hits it on the ground to the right side. The run should score.
Right. Even with Yasmani running.
I mean, with Agon, no, because he's by far the slowest Dodger on that roster. I think he's slower than AJ Ellis.
What I want to put forth maybe another nickname for Yasmani Grandal, like Grandy or something, because I kind of take issue with them calling him Yaz. I mean, because there's
there's only one Yaz.
There's only one Yaz, So let's think of something, He's got to do something phenomenal out there. The Grand Man or the Grand Slam. Maybe he just gets on a roll here and hits a couple of Grand Slams coming up.
But even I'll agree. There is only one. When you hear Yaz, there's only one person you think of,
right? Maybe if he puts up 500 homers and 3,000 hits in 20 years, we can call him Yaz.
Or hits a memorable home run in the World Series.
There you go. So good week for them. Won two series in a row, and that's what we got to do. Keep winning series, and one of them versus the hated Giants. So now it's like takes a little sting out of losing 3 or 4 up there.
Especially when we should have won 3 out of 4 up there.
Well, we don't want to spilt milk it. Things are still going good for Dodger Nation. And so then coming up, who we got this week? We got off day tomorrow.
Day tomorrow. Braves. Tuesday to Thursday, and then Rockies
at home.
On the road.
On the road. Going back on the road. Right.
On the road this week. Braves in Atlanta. Rockies in Colorado. Luckily, Kershaw pitches against the Braves. Doesn't have to pitch at Coors.
Wow. The Rockies have been hitting the ball. They've been one of the surprise teams of the early season.
Story with 7 home runs.
Story's sick.
Arenado had 2 home runs today. I think he has 6 now already, 2 on the season.
That kid's a beast. I expect Story to quiet down a little bit. At least I hope so. I mean, Bobby DeMuro used to be on this show. He talked me out of taking Story, and he's a Rockies fan on my fantasy team. I'm like texting him like every day. I'm like, what? He's still hot. He's like, don't worry about it. He's gonna cool off. I'm like, whatever, buddy. But so that'll be good. Like on the road. I mean, the Braves, they just won their first game a couple days ago.
Well, actually, they swept Miami.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they won their first. They were 0-9. Now they won their first 3.
So they're 3-9 now.
Yeah.
We're getting them at the wrong time. They're kind of hot. But that'll be good. I mean, I can't really name their pitches. Who do they got over there now?
You know what? They've had so much. They've had so much turnover.
Julius Chassin was on the mound today for them.
It's they've had so much turnover in the last couple of years.
Right.
I mean, last year, Shelby Miller's gone. Alex Wood is gone. You know, I mean, basically, I mean, they have Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, right. That's it, old Freddie boy. But so at Atlanta and then at Colorado.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, it'd be nice at least to be 500 in that, maybe 4-2.
I feel like
stretch.
I mean, those are teams they should beat. That should be a 4-2 stretch. Should be.
Okay.
They're better than both those teams, so it should be a 4-2 stretch.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. Keep the winning ways going. What is your Twitter, just in case people want to hit you up and say how awesome a job we're doing on this show, and you know.
Mine is Gersh13, GERSH13.
That's awesome. So hit them up on that. We're going to be settling into this time slot, I think, for a while now at 9 Pacific time. Although next week, I think we're going to be on 8 Pacific. Then we'll settle in for 9 for a while. If you guys actually want to listen to us live, you know, we'd love to, you know, maybe get some phone action going on here if we can drum enough people listen to us live. That'd be nice. So what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to go any live baseball games this week. You're going to have to watch on television like the rest of us plebeians.
Oh, no, I have to go to a bar because I don't have Time Warner.
Oh,
so
unless you donate to Vince's favorite charity.
Exactly.
And
actually,
then
you know
boom.
what? I actually do. Well, he doesn't do road games.
That's true. That's true. So don't worry about it.
No, because normally if I don't get to watch the game at home, I do just enjoy listening to him on the radio.
Yeah.
I can just listen and follow the game cast and I'm good.
Wait, he does. They have him on the radio call as well on home games?
Yeah, he's on the radio. You can listen. Well, I mean, it is. You get Steiner and not all the time.
Oh, okay.
Only on occasion. You get normally it's Steiner and Rick Monday and Charlie Steiner for the most part.
Right.
You know, but. I try to I stream it so I can listen to his not radio like I don't turn on my radio at home. I stream the game.
Gotcha.
I stream the game so I can listen to. There are websites where you can stream his voice.
You have to, like our younger fans that are listening that maybe aren't privy to Vin Scully's greatness, you have to tell them how they want to listen. And maybe they got DirecTV at home, you know?
So there's ways to find out. I mean, it's not supposed to be legal, but you can find ways to watch the game.
There you go. Sounds good. You want to chat about anything else before we sign off?
No, I think
we covered it.
Yeah, I think they had a good week. So.
It was a good week. Let's hopefully we're talking at this time next week. They have 4-2 for this week too.
There's less complaining about the bullpen this week. So
I love it. Keep it rolling, bullpen.
Although you know what, I still want Honeycutt to have to answer for some of the bullpen woes when it still bothers me.
His day will come. For Joshua Gershon, I'm Mike Conley. This has been a Dodgers Wrap 360. Go Dodgers. Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.